How to improve your tax planning efforts. Hi everyone, this is Nicole. I'm back with another video. I'm one of the tax advisors here at Robert Hall & Associates, and today we're going to talk about tax planning. How can you improve your tax planning? How can you help with tax planning? Well, there are several ways that you can help. First way is understanding what are your financial goals. The second is using some software. Software helps people with reconciling and keeping things organized. And the last is keeping things up to date. Reconciliation throughout the year is very, very helpful and saves people a lot of time and also a lot of knowledge. Well, it doesn't save you knowledge. It helps with your knowledge. You're more knowledgeable when you reconcile throughout the year. All right, before we get into anything, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos. Okay, here we go. How can you help with tax planning? How can you be a part of tax planning? And how can you make it easier? Number one, what are your financial goals? We, as tax advisors, need to know what are we shooting for. Lowering your tax liability is not the only thing that you might want to do. Actually, lowering your tax liability is probably going to be goal B for us. We know it's always in the background, but you might have other goals, and you probably do have other goals that will take precedence. And you can combine these goals with lowering your tax liability. For example, if you're trying to buy a house in the next year or two and I lower your tax liability down to the pits, it's going to hinder you when you're trying to buy that house in a year or two. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want to increase your mortgage payment because you paid less in tax in 1 year. You want to find a nice balance. And so when I'm informed about what your goals are, we can make better decisions so that you're comfortable with your tax liability. The next thing, how can you help with your taxes and help with tax planning? Being organized. Using software is not the only way to be organized, but software is very, 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 very helpful. Software helps because you can categorize your expenses, you can move business expenses to personal expenses, and you can understand where you lie in your planning. You can understand where you lie in what's taxable and what's not taxable. If you're talking with a tax advisor, you can also go back and change things quite easily. When you're doing things by hand, it's very difficult for you to be able to get more information if people have questions. And so if I'm looking at your P&L that you did by hand, if you have like a questionnaire that you filled out or something like that, and I'm looking at your P&L and you have $28,000 of travel, and I'm like, what is this $28,000 for? Maybe you can remember, 15,000 of that, but you don't remember all 28. And if you have software, you can go in to see all of those transactions much, much easier than when you just added everything up at home. And so software is a very, very helpful thing. Not all software is very expensive, and I'm not saying you need to spend money. Google Sheets or an Excel document, all of that works out really, really well, especially if you want to combine that with the third way to help in the tax planning. The third way is to be upfront and to be organized in a timely manner. You need to organize for yourself. While we might only talk twice a year, it is you, the tax preparer, that needs to know what's happening throughout the year, because you are going to let me know if something is off, and we need to talk more than twice a year. And so that means you should understand what is happening in your business or what is happening with your finances throughout the year. Keeping a P&L and reconciling your accounts on a monthly basis, and maybe monthly might be a little much if you don't have a business, but at a minimum, a quarterly basis is very, very helpful. Think about it like this. If you heard that somebody got $30,000 taken out of their account, what's one of the first questions you would ask them? How? They explain how, then you'd be like, why didn't you notice? If you found out that they didn't notice for 2 months, would you not think that's weird? Would you not think like, you don't have a very good handle on your accounts? It's the same thing. You should be looking at your accounts on a regular basis. Maybe because I'm an accountant, I look at my accounts a little bit too regularly, but I'm not going to have $30,000 taken out of my accounts without me knowing it. Like, that won't happen. I'll know immediately when that happens. And if I had a business, it would be the same way. And so you need to understand, am I spending too much on travel? Are my expenses too high? You need to understand that. And the way you can understand that is through looking at your accounts and reconciling your statements on a regular basis. That could be monthly or quarterly. There are 3 main ways that you can help improve your tax planning efforts. First, it is understanding what your financial goals are. When we're talking goals, we're not talking this year's goals. We might be talking about this year, 5 years, and 10 years. You can think about goals collectively. Second way to help you improve your tax planning efforts is by being organized, using software so you can give summarized information and then you can go in and give detailed information and you can easily make changes if necessary. And the final way is understanding what's happening, reconciling your accounts on a regular basis. At a minimum, that should be quarterly. All right, guys, if you have other questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can schedule an appointment with me or one of my wonderful colleagues. The link is in the description, or you can go to our website directly, roberthalltaxes.com. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.